light comes in, soft and slow. Nothing breaks the quiet here, nothing pulls away. Everything just settles in at the start of day. You don't try to move too fast, you don't need to change. There's something in the way we are that feels easy to stay. Where the light begins, everything feels new, not because it changed, but because it's true. Where the light begins, nothing fades away. Everything we couldn't hold finds a place to stay. No reason left to rush ahead, no need to rearrange. Everything is clear enough without trying to explain. You don't push to make it more, you don't let it go. There's something in the way it stays that lets me know. Where the light begins, everything feels new, not because it changed, but because it's true. Where the light begins, nothing fades away. Everything we couldn't hold finds a place to stay. Maybe this was always here, we just couldn't see. Something quiet, something soft, something meant to be. We don't need to shape it now, we don't need to prove. Everything is clear enough in the way we move. Where the light begins, I can feel it now. Everything we try to find is clear somehow. Where the light begins, nothing fades away. Everything we thought was gone is here to stay. Where the light begins, and I don't wanna lose it. Light comes in soft and slow. Soft light on your side. Nothing feels too far away, nothing feels unclear. There's something in the way it starts that brings it closer here. You don't try to hold it still, you don't let it go. There's something in the way it stays that lets me know. Soft light on your side, everything feels right, not because it changed, but because it stayed. Soft light on your side, nothing slips away. couldn't see. Something quiet, something soft, something meant to be. We don't need to push it far, we don't need to choose. Everything is clear enough in the way we move. Soft light on your side, I can feel it now. Everything we try to hold is clear somehow. Soft light on your side, nothing fades away. Everything we thought was gone is here to stay. Soft light on your side, and I don't wanna lose it. Soft light on your side.
Right here, no distance. Nothing feels far away from now, nothing left to hide. Everything is closer than the space we left behind. You don't turn away from this, you don't step aside. There's something in the way it stays that keeps it alive. Right in front of me, nothing in between. Everything is clearer now than it's ever been. Right in front of me, nothing fades away. Everything we couldn't hold is here to stay. You don't try to slow it down, you don't rush ahead. There's something in the way it is that says enough is said. No sudden shift in how it feels, no reason left to doubt. Everything is settling in without figuring out. Right in front of me, nothing in between. Everything is clearer now than it's ever been. Right in front of me, nothing fades away. Everything we couldn't hold is here to stay. Maybe we were always close, we just couldn't see. Something simple, something real right in front of me. We don't need to push it now, we don't need to choose. Everything is clear enough in the way we move. Right in front of me, I can feel it now. Everything we try to find is clear somehow. Right in front of me, nothing fades away. Everything we thought was gone is here to stay. Right in front of me, and I don't wanna lose it. Right here, no distance. Still here, holding steady. Nothing feels like falling now, nothing slips away. Everything is settling in a quieter don't try to pull it close, you don't let it fade. There's something in the way it stays that doesn't break. Holding it together, nothing comes undone. Everything we try to keep is still the one. Holding it together, nothing out of place. Everything we couldn't say still finds its space. You don't rush to make it more, you don't slow it down. There's something in the way it holds that keeps it around. No sudden shift in how it feels, no reason left to doubt. Everything is steady now without figuring out. Holding it together, nothing comes undone. Everything we try to keep is still the one. Holding it together, nothing out of place. Everything we couldn't say still finds its space. Maybe this is how it stays, not tight but strong. Something we don't have to fix, something we belong. We don't need to push it far, we don't need to choose. Everything is clear enough in the way we move. Holding it together, I can feel it now. Everything we try to hold is clearer somehow. Holding it together, nothing fades away. Everything we thought was lost is here to stay. Holding it together, and I don't wanna lose it. Still here, holding steady.
It's clear now, I can feel it. Nothing feels uncertain here, nothing fades away. Everything is settling in a brighter way. You don't try to change the tone, you don't step aside. There's something in the way it stays that keeps it alive. Clearer than it was, nothing left to hide. Everything we tried to hold is still inside. Clearer than it was, nothing slips away. Everything we couldn't say still chose to stay. You don't rush to make it more, you don't pull it back. There's something in the way it moves that keeps it intact. No sudden shift in how it feels, no reason left to doubt. Everything is steady now without figuring out. Clearer than it was, nothing left to hide. Everything we tried to hold is still inside. Clearer than it was, nothing was always close, was always here. We don't need to push it far, we don't need to choose. Everything is clear enough in the way we move, clearer than it was, and I can feel it now. Everything we try to find is clearer somehow, clearer than it was. Nothing fades away. Everything we thought was gone is here to stay, clearer than it was, and I don't wanna lose it. It's clear now, I can feel it.
It changed somewhere. There was something in the air that slowly pulled away. Not enough to call it gone, but not the same as yesterday. You don't try to fix it now, you don't let it fall. There's something in the way it stays that says enough is all. Somewhere it got quiet, somewhere it slowed down. Everything we used to feel feels different now. Somewhere it got quiet, nothing slipped away. Everything we couldn't say still chose to stay. You don't try to make it clear, you don't pull it back. There's something in the way it moves that doesn't crack. No sudden need to rearrange, no reason left to doubt. Everything is settling in without figuring out. Somewhere it got quiet, somewhere it slowed down. Everything we used to feel feels different now. Somewhere it got quiet, nothing slips away. Everything we couldn't say still chose to stay. Maybe it was always there, we just didn't see. Something softer, something less than what it used to be. We don't need to push it now, we don't need to choose. Everything is clear enough in the way we lose. Somewhere it got quiet, and I can feel it now. Everything we try to hold is softer somehow. Somewhere it got quiet, nothing fades away. Everything we thought was gone is here to stay. Somewhere it got quiet, and I don't wanna lose it. It changed somewhere.
Just like this. Stay. Nothing needs to change. Everything is settling in a softer way. You don't try to make it more, you don't let it go. There's something in the way it stays that lets me know. Let it stay like this, nothing out of place. Everything we try to hold still finds its space. Let it stay like this, nothing moves away. Everything we couldn't say still chose to stay. You don't rush to make it clear, you don't slow it down. There's something in the way it flows that keeps it around. No sudden need to rearrange, no reason left to doubt. Everything is steady now without figuring out. Let it stay like this, nothing out of place. Everything we try to hold still finds its space. Let it stay like this, nothing moves away. Everything we couldn't say still chose to stay. Maybe this is how it feels when nothing has to move. Something quiet, something sure, something we don't lose. We don't need to push it far, we don't need to choose. Everything is clear enough in the way we move. Let it stay like this, I can feel it now. Everything we try to hold is softer somehow. Let it stay like this, nothing fades away. Everything we thought was gone is here to stay. Let it stay like this, and I don't wanna lose it. Just like this, stay.
It's loose. Right here. Nothing feels too sharp right now, nothing feels too clear. Everything is settling in a brighter way. You don't try to hold it still, you don't let it go. There's something in the way it fades that lets me know. Fading into something soft, nothing feels too far. Everything we try to hold is where we are. Fading into something soft, nothing slips away. Everything we couldn't say still chose to stay. You don't rush to make it more, you don't pull it back. There's something in the way it moves that keeps it intact. No sudden shift in how it feels, no reason left to doubt. Everything is steady now without figuring out. Clearer than it was, nothing left to hide. Everything we try to hold is still inside. Clear us was always here. We don't need to push it far, we don't need to choose. Everything is clear enough in the way we lose, fading into something soft, and I can feel it now. Everything we try to find is softer somehow, fading into something soft. Nothing fades away. Everything we thought was gone is here to stay, fading into something soft, and I don't wanna lose it. It slows down right here.
It returns softly. There was something in the quiet that never really left. Even when it felt too far, it stayed beneath the rest. You don't try to pull it close, you don't let it go. There's something in the way it moves that lets me know. It slowly comes back, nothing slips away. Everything we try to hold still chose to stay. It slowly comes back, nothing feels too far. Everything we couldn't say is where we are. You don't rush to make it more, you don't pull it back. There's something in the way it stays that keeps it intact. No sudden need to rearrange, no reason left to doubt. Everything is settling in without figuring out. It slowly comes back, nothing slips away. Everything we try to hold still chose to stay. It slowly comes back, nothing feels too far. Everything we couldn't say is where we are. Maybe it was always there, we just couldn't see. Something quiet, something soft, something meant to be. We don't need to push it now, we don't need to choose. Everything is clear enough in the way we move. It slowly comes back, and I can feel it now. Everything we try to find is clear somehow. It slowly comes back, nothing fades away. Everything we thought was gone is here to stay. It slowly comes back, and I don't wanna lose it. It returns softly.
It comes back slowly. There was something in the quiet that almost slipped away. Not because it disappeared, but it drifted into gray. You don't try to force it now, you don't let it fall. There's something in the way it stays that says enough is or somewhere it got quiet, somewhere it slowed down. Everything we used to feel feels different now. Somewhere it got quiet, nothing slipped away. Everything we couldn't say still chose to stay. You don't try to make it clear, you don't pull it back. There's something in the way it moves that doesn't crack. No sudden need to rearrange, no reason left to doubt. Everything is settling in without figuring out. Somewhere it got quiet, somewhere it slowed down. Everything we used to feel feels different now. Somewhere it got quiet, nothing slips away. Everything we couldn't say still chose to stay. Maybe it was always there, we just didn't see. Something softer, something less than what it used to be. We don't need to push it now, we don't need to choose. Everything is clear enough, and the way we move, light comes back again, and I can feel it now. Everything we try to find is clearer somehow. Light comes back again, nothing fades away. Everything we thought was gone is here to stay. Light comes back again, and I don't wanna lose it. It comes back. Slowly. Right here, it settles. Right here, it settles. Nothing feels too far again, nothing feels too near. Everything is finding space to slowly reappear. You don't try to make it more, you don't let it fade. There's something in the way it stays that doesn't break. Back to a quiet place, nothing out of line. Everything we tried to hold feels more defined. Back to a quiet place, nothing slips away. Everything we couldn't say still chose to stay. You don't rush to make it clear, you don't pull it back. There's something in the way it moves that keeps it intact. No sudden need to rearrange, no reason left to doubt. Everything is settling in without figuring out. Back to a quiet place, nothing out of line. Everything we tried to hold feels more defined. Back to a quiet place, nothing slips away. Everything we couldn't say still chose to stay. Maybe this is how it feels
Everything is clear enough in the way we move back to a quiet place, and I can feel it now. Everything we tried to find is clearer somehow. Back to a quiet place, nothing fades away. Everything we thought was gone is here to stay. Back to a quiet place, and I don't wanna lose it. Right here, it settles.
Don't move, stay. Nothing needs to change from here. Nothing needs to shift. Everything is quiet now and gently starts to lift. You don't try to hold it close, you don't let it fall. There's something in the way it stays that says enough is all. Almost nothing moves, nothing pulls away. Everything we tried to hold still chose to stay. Almost nothing moves, nothing feels too far. Everything we couldn't say is where we are. You don't rush to make it clear, you don't pull it back. There's something in the way it is that doesn't crack. No sudden need to rearrange, no reason left to doubt. Everything is settling in without figuring out. Almost nothing moves, nothing pulls away. Everything we tried to hold still chose to stay. Almost nothing moves, nothing feels too far. Everything we couldn't say is where we are. Maybe this is what it is, when nothing has to change. Something quiet, something still, something we don't rearrange. We don't need to push it far, we don't need to choose. Everything is clear enough in the way we move. Almost nothing moves, and I can feel it now. Everything we try to find is clearer somehow. Almost nothing moves, nothing fades away. Everything we thought was gone is here to stay. Almost nothing moves, and I don't wanna lose it. Don't move, stay. Right here, it fits. There was something in the way it didn't feel aligned. Not enough to fall apart, but never fully right. You don't try change it now. You don't force a shift. There's something in the way it lands that finally fits. And nothing feels out of place, nothing moves away. Everything we try to hold still chose to stay. Nothing feels out of place, nothing feels too far. Everything we couldn't say is where we are. You don't rush to make it more, you don't pull it back. There's something in the way it stays that keeps it intact. No sudden need to rearrange, no reason left to doubt. Everything is settling in without figuring out. Nothing feels out of place, nothing moves away. Everything we try to hold still chose to stay. Nothing feels out of place, nothing feels too far. Everything we couldn't say is where we are. Maybe it was always there, just waiting to align. Something quiet, something sure, something we could find. We don't need to push now, we don't need to choose. Everything is clear enough in the way we move. Nothing feels out of place, and I can't feel it now. Everything we try to find is clearer somehow. Nothing feels out of place, nothing fades away. Everything we thought was gone is here to stay. Nothing feels out of place, and I don't wanna lose it right here. It fits.
It feels different in a good way. There was something in the way it used to weigh me down. Not enough to break apart, but enough to feel around. You don't try to change it now, you don't let it fall. There's something in the way it shifts that lifts it all. Feels lighter than before, nothing pulls away. Everything we tried to hold still chose to stay. Feels lighter than before, nothing feels too far. Everything we couldn't say is where we are. You don't rush to make it more, you don't pull it back. There's something in the way it moves that keeps it intact. No sudden need to rearrange, no reason left to doubt. Everything is settling in without figuring out. Feels lighter than before, nothing pulls away. Everything we tried to hold still chose to stay. Feels lighter than before, hidden underneath. Something quiet, something soft, something we could keep. We don't need to push it now. We don't need to choose. Everything is clear enough in the way we move. Feels lighter than before, and I can feel it now. Everything we try to find is clearer somehow. Feels lighter than before. Nothing fades away. Everything we thought was gone is here to stay. Feels lighter than before. It feels different in a good way.
Yes, they are after. There was something in the way, it didn't fade away. Not because it tried to hold, but it chose to stay. You don't try to make it more, you don't pull it back. There's something in the way it lands that finally fits. It stays with me after nothing slips away. Everything we try to hold still chose to stay. It stays with me after nothing feels too far. Everything we couldn't say is where we are. You don't rush to make it more, you don't pull it back. There's something in the way it stays that keeps it intact. No sudden need to rearrange, no reason left to doubt. Everything is settling in without figuring out. It stays with me after nothing moves away. Everything we try to hold still chose to stay. It stays with me after nothing feels too far. Everything we couldn't say is where we are. Maybe it was always there, just waiting to align. Something quiet, something sure, something we could find. We don't need to push it now, we don't need to choose. Everything is clear enough in the way we lose. It stays with me after, and I can feel it now. Everything we try to find is softer. Somehow it stays with me after. Nothing fades away. Everything we thought was gone is here to stay. It stays with me after, and I don't wanna lose it. It stays after. It stays. It feels more open. Something in the way it moves feels lighter than before. Not because it changed too much, but it doesn't close the door. You don't try to hold it still, you don't pull away. There's something in the way it stays that lets it breathe this way. A little more open now. make it more, you don't slow it down. There's something in the way it flows that doesn't turn around. No sudden need to rearrange, no reason left to doubt. Everything is settling in without figuring out. A little more open now, a little more clear. Everything we tried to hold feels easier here. A little more open now, nothing in the way. Everything we couldn't say still chose to stay. Maybe this is how it grows, not tight but free. Something we don't have to push, something we can be. We don't need to force it now, we don't need to choose. Everything is clear enough in the way we move. A little more open now, and I can feel it now. Everything we tried to find is softer somehow. A little more open now, and I can see it clear. Everything we thought was far is closer here. A little more open now, and I don't wanna lose it.